Eyes down for the So here we go, folks. Tuesday. I observed the bank holiday. And it's raining. It's always bloody raining. Right. I have finished welding the leaks. I've got the leaks now down to such minor little bubbles, and I've got the leak sealer. So I'm going to leave those now and trust the leak sealer. So what I have to do now is weld back in the bits I've taken out and then put the bottom back on, which is what I'm on with now. So I'm just going to cut the corner off the little shelf that the riddling bars sit on, and then I'm going to set up to put the bottom back on. During which time I'll probably run out of gas, so I can ring the gas man and say, bring me another bottle. Right, onward. Well, that was it, folks. A brief Tuesday. I've got the welding finished, I've got the bits welded back inside, just ready to weld the bottom back on. I've still got a little bit of gas left, but time has run out. It's time to go home. So, progress is being made. Now what will happen tomorrow is I might be really lucky and get that bottom welded on without running out of gas. Or I might get halfway through it and find I've got no gas. So I'll have to shout the gas man up, and that may take a day or two to arrive. So what I shall do is fit some other jobs in. Like putting a proper starter on the Manchester Rapidor, so that when it's cut through it drops and switches itself off, and also that it's not got 3 connectors on where it shouldn't have. Also another starter on there, on this beautiful grinding machine that's been sitting here all rebuilt and fettled and waiting for a starter. Well, I've got one. Or I had one, I've probably lost it now. It's here somewhere. Right, I've got a starter for that. So that can go on. And there's another thing that's to do. A Lidl's wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Very useful thing to have around a workshop. Only one trouble is it's been eating dog hair and water. And what's happened is it's got all clagged round the fan. And now it doesn't suck very well, and it's also way out of balance. So it wants getting open and cleaning out. The only problem is it's got some weird tamper-proof screws in it, and I can't get one of them out. But I'm going to. That's another little job that we can do tomorrow. This is only if we run out of gas, of course. Oh, here's another job. Here's another job. A wonderful Colchester student, which is slightly out of line. It needs the headstock lining up with the bed. Right? Not a difficult job. Take this cover off, slacken off the line of Allen screws there, slacken off the line of Allen screws round the back, put the test bar in and start to run a dial gauge along it and see what we can see. And then that is back to 100%. So that's what I shall fill in with. Of course, that's only if I run out of gas. I had somebody come and look at these at the weekend. Saturday morning. They may be sold. And what's more, not only these two, but also another one that I've got down in the other end of the building. So that may be going. Loud cheers. There you go. Right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Look at my beautifully refurbished cabinets. Bye now. Morning, folks. Wednesday. And I decided after various methods of clamping it, I would use the snowball engineering method of just tacking a bit of metal on just to hold it in position whilst I get it tacked. And it works very well. apart from that huge gap I've got to fill there, but I shall manage. If in doubt, I shall just stick a bit of steel in and weld to either side of it. No matter. Unfortunately that bit was a bit rusty, and when I burnt it out it all fell away, but as you can see most of it's cut really nicely. Right, onward, get it tacked in. You might be able to tell I'm stitching across fresh air here. I'm just bit at a time and it's working. And so on and so on and so on. You're not doing so bad actually. Still we haven't run out of gas. Although there's nothing showing on the gauge to speak of. Right, there you go. I'm going to have to get a lever now and just lift that lower panel slightly because it's beginning to curve down. I'm going to let it cool down and pull out tight again. And so far, it's gone pretty well. Pleased with it. Oops. Whoops. So here's the problem with the last bit, folks. Just a little bit too wide to cast a weld across. I've been doing alright here because this surface here is slightly higher than this one. And when I get a blob going on there and it falls down, it hits the other edge, and so I've been managing to stitch it across. It's getting a bit too wide now. And there's the solution. I've bent that to fit into there, and I'm just going to lay that in there, tack it and then tap it in. And that'll do the job. That'll fill her up. Right, onward. So there we are, folks. The witching hour has arrived. It's back in. No leaks. And it's full of Fernox. That side weaked a little until the Fernox got to it, and then it just stopped, and that's it. So, next job to do is put it all together, put the flue on and light it. So we'll maybe do that tomorrow, because the witching hour has arrived and it's time to go home. And I must remember to buy some eggs on the way. Bye now. Morning, folks. Thursday. And I just got started on making the flue adapter. As you can probably see by that weld, I ran out of gas. So, it's ring the gas man time. The good news here, however, is it's not leaking. It's completely stopped and completely dry. So the leak sealer has got to it. Job done. Right, so next, after I've taken the gas bottle off and got it ready for dispatch, what shall we do? Let's put the starter on this grinder, and let's have this grinder going. Right, I'll see if we'll charge into that and see if anything stops me, and if it does I shall move on to the starter on the saw. Right, I'll bring you back when I'm on with it. Bye now. Well folks, it's confession time. I forgot to film it. Right, I've put the starter on. I've connected all the wiring up. And I plugged it in to the other 3-phase socket. It didn't work. So I thought, oh, I wonder. Took the starter out again, and the link for remote control had been removed from the starter. So the starter's obviously been used for remote control. But now, off she goes. I obviously have some balance situation to redress there. But this is a very nice lap grinder with 2 very smooth cup wheels on, with T-slotted tables that you can set the angle of. So it's sort of the basics of a tool cutter grinder. And I'm going to experiment with it, see what I can rig onto it to sharpen stuff. But if not, it's now a complete piece of 3-phase kit that can be sold. So that's that one working. So I've made a tech level, advanced tech level there, but I forgot to film it. Then suddenly I realised, oh cripes, I've got to go back to Driffield at 2:30 because I've got a doctor's appointment at 3:30 for yet another blood test for my on-off diabetes. So I've got to do that. Nice little multimeter, ex-GPO, post office. Right, I've got to do that. So that's it for today. Now then, if you're interested, and please let me know in the comments, if you're interested, I can show how to wire 3-phase equipment. I am a qualified electrician. I have a City and Guilds of London Institute National Diploma in Electrical Engineering, which is a 3-year course. If I'd done it today, it's more or less degree level. But there you go, I did it in the 70s. Well, the very early 70s actually. But there is a safety angle to be considered. 3-phase does not mess about. It bites, and you have to get it right. So I would advise people using 3-phase equipment to get it checked out by professionals like me. Right? So if you want, please let me know in the comments, and I will show you how to properly wire and safely wire 3-phase equipment. But you must always take triple the precautions you would take with single phase. Right, well, the next job I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to put the starter on that mess there. Right, so that I can use my saw by pressing a start button and have it cut out automatically on its little micro switch. When it's finished cutting. So that's for tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for today. That's me done. I'm going home. See you all later. Bye now. Morning folks, Friday, and a brief change of plan. One of my fluorescent lights has quit. I noticed a couple of days ago that it wasn't coming on, which some of them come on instantly, well, most of them come on instantly, and some of them just take a little bit of time to warm up, but this one has quit. So it is time to convert it to the double LED conversion. So that's what I'm going to do this morning first thing. We'll crack on with the other stuff straight after this. So off we go. First thing to do, get the fitting open. 3 screws out, reflector off, and get into it. Right, off we go. So folks, to release these wires from here, just need a little, not that end, you need a tiny piece of wire to push in the hole above the terminal, and when you push it in, which I can't demonstrate to you because I've only got one hand free, out pops the wire. Easy. Okay. Right folks, so they actually work differently to what I remembered. if you look on the instructions which are stuck to the tube, you have a live at one end and a neutral at the other end. So what I've rigged up here is a neutral there and mark that neutral, and a neutral there and mark that neutral. Then I've got a single live which comes out of the hole there and then hooks round and goes through one of the vents in the shield and goes to both end caps. And then we fit two of these end caps to that wire and job's a good one. So now I can put these, put the whole fitting back together, put the reflector back on, thread the wire through, put the terry clips on, and the conversion is done. Right, I'll bring you back when I've done it. And there we go, folks. Pop riveted 2 terry clips on, brought the wire from the inside out to here, ready to put the 2 other end caps on, 2 tubes in, plugged in, job's a good one. I'll bring you back when it's finished. And there we are, folks, job completed. One more fluorescent converted to LED. Good show. There she is, folks, back on the ceiling, looking gleaming clean compared to the others, and chucking the light out in no uncertain terms. The reason I've done it this way is because if you buy 8-foot conversion tubes, or any sort of 8-foot tube, LED tube, they're really expensive. But you can pick the 4-foot ones up for about, I think they were about £3.50 a piece, £3.50, and that's just ridiculous, right? Now that one over there has been up over a year, right? And they don't look any brighter. So there you go. So the emissivity and the life of them seems to be good, but far cheaper doing it that way. And there's plenty of light there. There's more light coming out of there than comes out with 2 8-foot fluorescent tubes. Right? So I'm quite happy with that, and it's cheap conversion. Okay, on to something different. Oh look, folks, it's another starter. I've got to find some screws for the connections and finish assembling this, and this is going to go onto the Manchester Rapido, but due to unforeseen circumstances I have to cut this today short. I've got my gas bottles laced up on the MiG and the TIG, but I have to dash off. So thank you all for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm still getting 70 to 80% of the people who view the videos aren't subscribed. And I'll see you all next week. Bye now.